Hey, what's up everyone? So today we are going to be doing Ascendant Lord in the 11th house. And what happens when Ascendant Lord comes into the 11th house? And just a reminder, on Thursday, I'm going to be filming a little celebration video with my editor, Shalini from Shalsi TV, regarding the release of my book, Aspects at the Speed of Light, which she and I have worked really hard on. We have spent day and night, polishing this book, and she's still polishing this book right now. But we're going to do a small little celebration, and of course, you know me, I bring drunk celebration. But it ain't going to be no normal drunk celebration. No. We're going to celebrate this with my girlfriend, Cristal Champagne. Okay? And this, obviously, it's a $300 bottle, which is possible by you guys. So thank you so much for making my dreams come true so I can actually afford this expensive champagne. I don't even know what it tastes like. So thank you very much. It's all possible because of you and for you to make my YouTube channel the #1 most subscribed channel on YouTube and in the world. So thank you so much. But let's get back to our video. Ascendant Lord in this 11th house. What happens when your first house Lord, like when you're born, whatever sign was rising on the eastern horizon, that sign becomes your ascendant sign, meaning your rising sign. And some planet is going to be controlling that sign. So if you're in Aries, Mars controls Aries. If you're a Taurus, Venus controls Taurus. If you're a Gemini, Mercury controls Gemini. So whoever was ruling your very first house and they were sitting in the 11th house during that transit, that becomes the scenario called Ascendant Lord in the 11th house. So that's the Ascendant Lord, which is like your personality, your vitality, your health. It shows where your main focus of life will be no matter what happens. Okay? So when your Ascendant Lord is the 11th house is a house of gains. Liquid gains, gains of money, gains of network, gains of friends, gain of authority, because it's second from the 10th house. It represents gain through elder siblings, because it's also the house of elder siblings. And it is the most important house of gain. Or actually, I should say, it's the most important house regarding wealth in your horoscope. Why nowadays 11th house becomes very most important house regarding wealth, even more than the 11th? Even more than the second. Second house is a representation of your assets, your accumulated assets, your savings, and whatever you have inherited through your family. And nowadays, in tough economy and hard times, hardly you can inherit anything from your parents. They themselves are struggling. So the second house is really the reflection of your 11th house. Because if you're not getting enough gains, how will you be able to save for the second house? How will you be able to accumulate assets like gold, silver, properties, any kind of things that is known as assets, mutual funds, bond, is a reflection of your 11th house. It can only be possible because your 11th house is giving you a lot of gains through your career. This is why it's second from the 10th house. It's a gain of authority. What kind of authority will you have in this life? So that's why it's really important house. And I've said that in quite a few videos early on too, like a couple of years ago, okay? So when your Ascendant Lord goes into the 11th house, it shows that your main focus of life is not only about the gains and how I can retain and have more gains, but it's also about how I can just keep rising in life with authority. Some people are like, dude, if I can just have money, I'm cool. But some people are like, look, I need to have that title. I need to have the status. I need to be called a doctor, a lawyer, a sir, a madam, whatever. I want to be called a prince. I want to be called a king. That is 11th house. So their life focus goes into attaining gains of authority, titled of authority. And they want to their whole mindset is about connecting with other people, because they feel, whoever they are as a person, that without these other people, I cannot gain in life. I need to have network circle. I need to have friends. I need to have people guiding me to different parts of life. So this is why it becomes very important. It's a house of your elder siblings, meaning that you can get gain from your elder sibling. Maybe your elder sibling is a lawyer in a law firm. You graduate with a law degree, and your older brother or sister says, hey, why don't you come work for me? I'll start you off at $150,000. And you're like, damn, of course, I would love to come and work. And next thing you know, you guys rise in life, you both become co-owners of company, and you guys fight each other, and then you guys kill each other. Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so that's what 11th house is. But depending upon what ascendant your ascendant lord is, whatever planet is controlling your ascendant, when they go into the 11th house, it's a quite a different thing there. It's a quite a different situation there. Like, let's say Mars rules the Aries ascendant. When Mars goes into the 11th house, Mars is actually kind of confused, because Mars is in a heavy karmic sign of Aquarius. Scorpio and Aquarius are karmic signs, which I've talked to this about my book as well. So Mars becomes confused. It's like, okay, I am very bold and daring, and I'm able to go out and, work as hard as I want, but I'm just not feeling the support from my network. For some reason, my network just keeps failing. And that's because both co-lord of Aquarius is Saturn and Rahu. Two very tamasic planets that bring fear and an anxiety. So there's a lot of fear when you go to friends, when you make friends, because you get betrayed by them. You feel like, oh my God, every time I make friends in network circles, I just keep, failing. What this shows is that your gains will come through your own willpower, will come through your own efforts, because Mars is the significator of the 3rd house and the 6th house of efforts and fighting. So it shows your gains will come through fighting. Don't rely on network circles too much. Unless, of course, Rahu and Saturn are well placed. They're exalted like they are right now in Libra. They're in the 11th house, protecting the house. So if Mars is there, although it's going to be more trouble, but at least they will help Mars through hardship. It can show somebody who's a boxer or a fighter, and they get their gains by fighting people. Because it's a war zone in the 11th house. You can be a stockbroker, going out there betting against the company, going against other stockbrokers at the exchange and trying to make the buck. Venus goes into the 11th house. If, let's say, like like Taurus ascendant, Venus is exalted. Venus has this universal love for large organization. They want to meet and greet people of artistic talent and spiritual conversations with people. They have tremendously beautiful relationship with their elder siblings, and their friends are very soft and mostly are feminine and artistic, imaginative friends. And through that, you get gains. You as a man or a woman can gain through marriage, because Venus is a significator of marriage. It's a significator of luxurious life. It's a significator of conveniency. You can gain a lot of conveniency through women. You can have like women just come as your girlfriends in life who are so rich, they're like, oh, you're struggling here, have $20,000. Or you're struggling here, have $15,000. That's what that shows. And it shows tremendous gains through your life partner as well. But one thing you got to remember is what malefic planets are aspecting in conjunction to the 11th house. And where is the lord of the 11th house? If Venus is exalted, but if Jupiter is debilitated in the 9th house at the right degree, then it shows that your Venus is going to have very loose foundation and is going to have very loose gains. Venus will gain money and it'll suddenly lose it. Like when I do the Jupiter example, you'll see. So you always look at conjunction aspects, and you look at the position of the depositor of that Lord sign. Like Mercury goes into the 11th house. Mercury is like a businessman. Mercury loves conversation and chatting. These guys have a huge network circle, huge amount of friends, and especially friends that can help them in business, because these are very business-oriented people. They love making connection with people who have ideas, they can collaborate with. See, Mercury is about teamwork. These people love being in a teamwork setting. They like to have a support structure to help them. They're like, no, I can't do this alone. I need somebody to help me out in this. So they're very team-oriented people, very, very soft-spoken, intelligent, and not like intelligent like divine intelligent like Jupiter, but they're like, they have the street smarts, and they make friends with that kind of a quality. So it's kind of like not a bad thing, but it's just that when they make friends, especially later on in life, people who can benefit them. See, when you're young and you're youth, you'll make anybody friends, but then your friends spread out because you didn't get along with them, they couldn't benefit you. And especially as a Mercurian ascendant, where that business mind comes into play, you're like, this guy never helps me. He just doesn't do anything for me. And you kind of let it go. But again, aspects, conjunction on the 11th house, and the dispositor of the 11th house where it's sitting, especially if it's in Tushtana house, it shows gains through a lot of struggle. Not like easy gains where you're sitting home and you're making money. Okay? You take Sun. Sun goes into the 11th house as the ascendant lord. It shows you have a lot of connection with government authorities, with people in higher status in life. Maybe your friends are CEOs, CFOs of companies, and they're kind of like your father figures. You get gains through father. You can have father's savings or father's assets through you. And really, ascendant lord in the 11th house shows that your gains will come just by asking people. Like if Sun is in the 11th house, ask any fatherly figure, hey, I need to make more money, help. And they will come and help you. If Mercury is there, ask your friends. Mars is there, ask your brother, your male colleagues. If Venus is there, ask any woman or your wife that, hey, I want more money. I need help. Can you invest in my business? And they will invest in your business, especially if they're well placed. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you, lend a hand, so they can help you climb to the right status. Moon in the 11th house as in ascendant lord is exalted, especially around 2 degrees. If moon is within 1 to 5 degrees in Taurus, it's exalted. And after that, its Mool Trikon sign is up to 20 degrees. So moon does quite well in the 11th house up to 20 degrees. It shows tremendous gains through women, through mother, through business of trading, through business of milk or motherly products, through you will meet a lot of women who are. So moon can bring motherly type figures in your life who will help you rise in life. Maybe you ran into a female boss. You ran into some older family friend as a female who said, you know what, I have this business, come work with me, let's do it, let's make money. And that's how you gain money, especially through mother and motherly figures, you gain money. If Jupiter goes into the 11th house, especially as like a Pisces ascendant, Jupiter is debilitated. And especially if it's at the right degree where Jupiter is considered debilitated, what will happen, especially as a female, you will run into a husband who will come into your life thinking that he has a lot of gains to give you and thinking that he can help you a lot. But what will happen, you will lose your money to that person, to that ex-husband of yours who just took everything from you and was gambling and drinking and just wasting money away. So that's what it shows. Now, unless Saturn is exalted, unless Saturn is sitting in his good friendly sign and in Kendra or in Trikon and aspects Jupiter or sits with Jupiter, gives its Neech Bhang, then what it can show that early on you may have struggled in learning, education, spirituality, or just finding any kind of a good teacher in your life. But as you progressed, you actually found right people in your life. Because of the fact when Jupiter gets a Neech Bhang, and especially 11th house is knowing it's a Upachya house, it grows better with time. Any malefic planets in the 3rd, 6th, 10th, or 11th house grows better with time. It shows that with time you were able to adjust to all the con artists that came in your life as men or as husbands, or for a male, it can represent maybe you ran into a lot of con artists, gurus, and teachers who took your own money. And then you'll be able to adapt to that and then, oh, I caught you. I know you're trying to take my money. It ain't going to happen this time. So that's what happens. If Saturn goes into the 11th house, Saturn is a slow-moving planet. So it gives everything with delay. Saturn is your discipline, your structure, your organization skills. It frustrates you, makes you work hard. So as an ascendant in the 11th house, what it shows, it'll really frustrate you early on in life. It'll probably even block friends for you. It'll say you won't have any friends. You get friends, they leave you. You get friends, you get into fight with them. You get friends, something happens, they move away. But slowly as you get older, especially in your late 20s, that's when you start really attracting the right people in your life. That's when you'll really start maybe like really old figures in your life who will become your friend and guidance, who will teach you that, hey, through hard work, your gains are going to come. Because early on, Saturn is teaching you lessons. So you'll be running around doing all sorts of, quick buck schemes. And you're like, how come the other guy is making all this money and I can't do the same business? Well, that's probably because you have ascendant Lord in the 11th house. So your whole life force is about working hard. Your whole life, you have to work hard, put in the effort, put in the determination to get to somewhere in your life. But if Saturn support is there, if he's sitting in the right friendly sign, or if it's in a positive aspect to other planets, it'll give you a lot of gains. And you'll be known as somebody who works hard. It can show gains through government, gains through administrative positions in government. It can give positions, executive positions in oil, steel, iron companies. So this is why Saturn, becomes a very important planet. But like for Capricorn ascendant, Saturn goes into the 11th house. It's a karmic rule sign again, meaning that's ruled by the South Node Ketu and Mars. So you got to look at both of their position, because both of them are holding you hostage to something you did in your past life. So it can give you a lot of, lot of dramatic experiences with friends, a lot of dramatic experiences with elder brother. My elder brother might cheat you, or take all your money, and you're just left wondering what happened. So look for your position of Mars and Ketu. And this is why it's really tricky and hard, because both Mars and Ketu have to be well placed. One cannot be ill placed and the other one good placed, because then it'll just neutralize the situation. It won't be really great. Okay? So guys, this was my analysis of Ascendant Lord in the 11th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your Ascendant Lord is placed, and if it's in the 11th house, for that, check out the links below and check out my books there, Astrology at the Speed of Light and Conjunctions at the Speed of Light. And remember, my book, Aspects of the Speed of Light, comes on the first week of September. But once you get these books, I will send you the link to look at your own chart so you can see what's going on with you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.